for normal people, we still don't really
Well,
know
Anton's
what all...
turning up the heat.
Hello, wonderful person, this is Anton, and today we're going to be talking about these
3
incredible
hours did them
discoveries
last night
in
for 2
regards
hours.
to
Just sit
fundamental
back and play
physics.
bunnies, right, bro?
And more specifically, we're actually going to be combining two different discoveries,
For me,
which
physics
in
and
a
physics.
sense suggests that our
Quasi-particles,
understanding of
virtual
fundamental
particles,
physics is still not really
field theory,
perfect,
Bernoulli's,
because both
values and
discoveries
answers
suggest
of
that something else is going
matrices.
on in the universe
This is my
that
schedule.
we don't really understand. And what I'm actually going to be discussing is the very recent
Checklist.
announcement from the
Your
Fermi
initials
Lab
on there,
of
a
the
time, a number, a
so-called
thing.
G-2 experiment that has been
Distance.
confirmed officially
See,
to
no,
have
Fermi Lab, I'm going to put something in it. I'm going to tell you to close your eyes.
and
You
also
tell
this
me inverted
completely
square
other
rule
discovery
what
from
happened
CERN
because
in
it
Switzerland,
crashed.
which also suggested something else going on with a completely
Hold
different
on.
particle in a completely different experiment. Both discoveries were made only approximately a week apart, and both to some extent are kind of groundbreaking, at least for the particle physicists. For us, for normal people, we still don't really know what
Right
all
there.
this means.
Right there in the
But,
top,
as always,
the spin, the
let's start
charm,
with the baby steps.
the
So
thing,
today,
with the
in
thing,
modern physics,
and the thing.
the so-called standard model of particle physics is
Hey, how did you manage to pause there? I didn't do
probably
that.
the best model we have for the world around us.
Hey.
Basically, these 17 different subatomic particles you see
Doctor
right
Strange.
here more or less represent what we believe happens in the world around us, at least when it comes to particle interaction.
I'm almost that fast,
With the
Anton.
idea
Without
known
clicker,
as
42.
QCD, or quantum
There
chromodynamics,
we go.
being responsible for
There it is.
explaining how all of these subatomic particles interact with one another.
Chromodynamics is
over
like
the past few decades,
cosmetology
really,
at
a lot
the
of
hair
different
salon, brother.
experiments conducted in various
That's how this
particle
works.
accelerators, for the most part,
Ah,
have been consistently
so
proving
tomorrow
this
I have to
idea
get up,
over and
schedule,
over. All of these theoretical
for
predictions, such
3:50,
as, for example,
3:45,
the famous Higgs
4
boson,
o'clock to get
were
there at
eventually
4:30,
confirmed
throw
by
on the gear,
various
get ready,
experiments
jump
for
in,
example,
shower
CERN,
tonight,
inside
dust
the
it off,
Large Hadron Collider
figure it out in the
located
work schedule
Switzerland.
if I can fix this
Now,
work
all these
schedule and anchor
experiments
it out
over the years, once
over
again,
the W
allow the
Bullseye,
scientists
the
to
W
quite
Walgreens,
confidently say
W.
that our understanding of the world, and
Their
specifically
numbers,
the standard
McDonald's,
model of
the,
physics,
also
for
the
the most
Stone
part, seem to
Mill,
have been correct.
the Board
But the model
Factory,
was obviously
Wagner's,
still imperfect.
Bisbee's
For
Lumber,
example, it still
not
couldn't
quite,
really
but I've
explain
certainly
very
bought things
well
there
how
before, which
gravity
gives me
works or how
insight.
objects are able to attract each other. It
FMA
also
all
didn't
day,
really
thank you,
explain
all day.
the mysteries of the universe, such as dark matter.
So
But
like I
more
said, he's been
importantly,
slamming
there
it
were
out.
some experiments
The
that
eating
created
food
results
video,
that were
right?
kind of difficult
I'm
to
like,
explain. And one such
the one
famous
last night was
example
about
from 1990s
some astrology stuff, and
what's
it was
known
good
as the
AMS
Brookhaven
video,
experiment.
put you to sleep.
Although,
You know,
according
that's
to
the kind of
Google,
stuff you want
it's
to
also
do
some sort
during
of
while you're
VR shooter
sleeping.
game, which
When
I don't
it's
think I'll
absorption.
ever be playing because it kind of looks scary. Anyway, that
Open
one
AI.
experiment created a tiny problem for the particle physicists, which for the past few decades have been
Close
kind
your
of
eyes
trying
and
to
we put
figure
something
out.
in the pipes at
But
Fermi
what
Labs and you
exactly
tell
is
me
this
by where
problem
it
and why is
crashed
it a
or
problem?
how good we
Well,
can
it
collision that
really
thing
has
if
something
things
to
and
do with
speeds
the
and speeds were
predictions
by the
of
numbers.
one of
What was
these
it?
subatomic
Now you didn't know.
particles. And specifically
jump
this
in.
particle right here
Fly
known
in,
as
let's
mu.
go.
As you can see, it's pretty
Oh,
much the cousin
give
of
me a
electron,
muon,
except that it's
electron, I don't
dramatically
care.
more massive, like 200 times more massive. But in every other
Well,
respect, it is very similar to electron.
virtual
As a matter of
particles,
fact, other
quasi-particles,
properties
that's
like
what
spin
you're
and
going to do
electric
on the
charge
stone mill
are
by
exactly the same
having
as an
grid
electron.
like
So the only
a
main
checklist
difference
or
here being the mass.
skid steer.
And one of the main
Remember
reasons
the
we're
Jocko
not really
videos
as
there,
familiar with
the
muons
general
compared to
STEM
electrons
resume.
is actually because we
Alright.
haven't really found a practical use for them yet.
There are many
Electrons
different
are
types
obviously used
of
everywhere.
resumes
That's how
out there,
electricity
so
works.
my
But for
first
muons,
note
one of
is
the only uses
this
we have for them
concept
so
is
far
going
are,
to
for example,
backtrack
various types
into
of
the unified
penetrating
field
scanners,
theory.
such as
Think
ground
of your A
penetrating
universal
scanners,
field
which
theory
muons
as a
can do
bank of
much better than
terms
electrons
with constant
because they're
differences
basically more
between
massive and
terms.
can easily
Another
go
point
through
of
matter
view would
and
be
thus
as
detect
a
objects
particle
much deeper
in the
ground.
universe
As a
that
matter of fact,
can
right
cover
now, as I'm
terms
speaking
in
to you and
a
as you're listening to
local
me, or more
universe as
specifically in
a
the area
local
around 1 square
way,
meter around
whereas
about
the
10,000
Newtonian
muons go through that
method
area every
is
single
satisfied
minute.
left-hand
And the way
rule.
that they form is through the interaction of cosmic rays coming from
Over the
very
years,
powerful
I have
quasars,
tried my best to
supernova,
cover
and a
as
lot of
many
other powerful
forms
objects
of
out there
it,
with the
IT,
upper
as,
atmosphere of planet
AS,
Earth. And as
possible
these elements strike
in
the upper atmosphere,
sense,
the muons
trying
that are
to
generated
master
as a
the
result
overall
go through
form
pretty much
in
everything, including
which
you and
a
including the
resume
ground underneath. And some
may
of them
present
can actually
itself.
even go through the entire
Some of these
planet
examples
entirely.
include,
So
but not
muons are
limited to,
generally really good at
command
penetrating
directives,
things. And
incident
so over the years, the
reports,
scientists have learned quite
invention
a lot
patents, small
about them.
business,
And
design,
one of the
engineering,
properties that is
and
known to scientists
environment,
about muons is
X
that if you were
environment,
to
X
place
prime,
them in a
and
magnetic
environment
field,
X
they would
degree.
basically start spinning. And this spin itself is known as the G factor. with the G factor
With that
for
said,
muon
we are
being
going to need a bank
So next time you hear
to break
someone say
down
muon G
the terms
2,
in general
that's
resume
basically what they're referring
after
to. They're referring to this
affecting
predicted value
or
of a muon spinning
concerning
inside the
all
magnetic
or
field.
most
But
people,
it turns out that this
places,
value
or
is actually
things
not really true.
widespread,
With the main reason being
considering
virtual
or
particles
including
predicted by
or
the
excluding
quantum
the
physics.
main
As these virtual particles start to appear
features of
everywhere, they
or
actually
elements of
interact
something
with the
and
spin of muons
disagree
and end up increasing the value by just a little
disregard
bit. So it's not really
exceptions
two.
overall.
It's more
In
like
general STEM resume.
2.002.331 and so on.
In
And this value
command
that
of
you
an
see right
army
here was the
or
predicted
an
value
army
from
officer
the most
of very
recent,
high rank.
very thorough analysis from 2020 that was released by
So
a lot of scientists working together.
on Monday,
Now, this is
you
a
know, for
mathematical
me it's a
prediction
6-hour
value.
video that
And
they
it
make you
just so
take for the
happens
test on doing
that
it, and then the
experiment I
gas pumps,
mentioned
which is
previously, the
completely
Blue Demon
broken.
experiment,
I'm talking
found
about
this value
legendary
to be
artifacts you
a little
can't do
bit
shit
different.
with, and
Something wasn't really adding up. And so for the past few decades,
what was in the
scientists
pipe?
different
Black
labs were
body
trying to
problem,
recreate
the
these
devil,
results
the devil and the dead,
with
D
the
over
formula
DL over
that
DT.
the video I'm using here, essentially even getting a completely new
So the long
powerful
game on
magnet
trajectories
just
of
to study
things.
this
So
effect,
you know,
just to
local.
find out if
Again,
there
I
is
go.
something going on
You can have
after all.
workers, counter
And,
people,
well, as you can
maintenance
probably
people, and
imagine, after
managers,
years
and
and
figure
years of
out the
studies,
rotation of
they
how I
finally
got to
have
go
the
through that
results.
to do double
And the
down
results,
books,
well,
or
let me show you
times
the
in the
picture
morning where
to
managers
summarize
got to be there
this.
every day,
The
but it's not
results
most of the day,
sort of
and
confirm
everything
the
else is
original
behind
Blue
the
Cave
system
result,
come in 2 or
and
3
definitely
times.
go
Hit
against
the coolers
predicted
for
model
them.
that
If you got a
was
mop
just
for them,
confirmed
mop
last
for them.
year.
Check the bathrooms.
And
Don't
even
just
though
ride
the
their ass
actual
for it because
difference
they're
is
probably
really,
slamming
really
customers,
minuscule,
or
the
they're
experimental results
designed
here don't
under
really align
what
with
the
the
field theory
standard
manual
model
is supposed to do for
predictions.
what that is.
The
Yeah,
difference
you don't know how to
is
use
quite
it correctly on
significant,
top end,
which
yeah, it
means
can be
that
bad
both
for you.
experiments found some sort of an anomaly, suggesting either A, the 17 subatomic particles we have here
It's quick in
do
training.
not
Usually when you're
necessarily
good, usually the
explain
barometer in
whole
spring
world
says
around us.
people in town say
There
you're
might be
smart,
some
you're
other
good, and
18th
it plays
hidden
over.
particle that was just discovered. Or B, something completely
That's been
different,
trying.
something
Tell
that
time, 5
nobody
minutes
really
from midnight
understands
is
yet,
this is what I
is
got in
happening
town for
to the spin of
resources.
these muons,
Can't
which
separate
might
the
be
crew
some
or the
sort of
model any other
fundamental
way.
discovery in regards to muons that nobody has ever made before.
STEM,
Either way, for the
STEM
particle
general resume.
physicists,
Firstly,
this is
no,
one of
this
the
is not a
biggest
general STEM
groundbreaking
resume.
discoveries
This
of
is
the last 50
a
years.
summed,
But
condensed
to make sure that this
version
is a real discovery
for
and
the
not some
use
sort
of the
fluke, because
reader
there is
in
still
note
a tiny
form,
chance that maybe
and
this was a
since
mistake.
the
Specifically here we're talking about
entire
1 in 3
A
million
universal
chance.
field theory
The scientists are going
is
to
a
be conducting this
GSR.
experiment
That's the general
5 times in
model
total.
of those
And if
command
after 5
directives,
times they
incident
still get
reports,
the same
invention
results,
patents, small
well,
business
in that
models,
case, there's
in
definitely
their
something
totality,
going on.
in
And
their
so, in that
entire
sense, it's a
form.
discovery that doesn't have an explanation.
Secondly, note this:
or even
there is a
theory
very
behind it.
slight but
Nobody
significant
really knows
difference
what's
between this
But that's
sample
just one of the
form
discoveries.
and
Remember in
the
the beginning I mentioned there were 2
entire
discoveries?
GSR,
Well, the second one
i.e., a
is
general's
completely
resume
unrelated, although
state
maybe
can
somewhat related.
always be used as a relative form, but a general's STEM resume was the reason the relative form was needed. So, like, when you get into I'm keeping a ledger of a specific model, you're going to find a lot of different day schedules, weekly schedules, bi-weekly, monthlies all over the road that aren't some perfect cubic data compressed. I need MOSFET switch is there, time topology, gold plated input chips to make sure it doesn't oxidize and burn out in a month, because even though it'll work electrons, they don't like steel in the copper because it rusted out. So you do stuff about it, and you hope on the cost ratio.
Courageous and dedicated workforce. Yes. Created by the timekeepers. Yep. To protect the
Preface, 1 page plus summary and overview of skills in STEM.
The idea that your little club decides the fate of trillions
The
of
STEM
people across all of
problems
existence at the
in
behest of
answer
greed.
form, erodes conjecture,
Space lizards.
an abruptly
Yes,
long
funny.
sequence of reciprocating terms, and
Well, you didn't like to talk.
$5,000. Fermat's last theorem: AX plus BX equals CX. In short, $1 million. And I'm going to go AX plus BX. I do it in the key AX plus BX.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kira Bailey,
Equals-
and this
equals
is
CX.
the Bush. Welcome to Camp Kira.
Continue on here. Beal's conjecture, same deal, a little different, a little more real in the abrupt long sequence bits.
Just love taking
D,
care
A
of the
mod,
animals
universal
here in
field
the
theories,
sanctuary.
general relativity,
You're
special
going to
relativity,
montage photo art of our dad.
simultaneous relativity.
Nice
We're
idea.
going to get into the
Special
marshmallow.
purpose.
There you go.
It's time to my cat
Marshmallow,
Charlie. Be
snowflake,
sure to add
and
your own
buttercup
style.
there.
Perfect 4th of July hackers in light garland. We're going glamping. Let's make it a self-care Sunday for us and the animals. The fishtail brain
no,
is
well, I
my
have your
new
Marshmallow
favorite
Morning
hairstyle.
Star
Let's set up
and
a
the
study
rabbit,
station
so.
at the science station. Hey, cutie. Koalas. Daisy and Boomer, I just gave you two a bath. Blossom. Let the
The Millennium
environment
Math Problems
inspire
in
you.
answer form. Laws of motion.
Let's go,
An
yo.
apple a day, FMA, not once all day. Laws of thermodynamics, the inventory of everything working, every working joule in the friction machine, the marshmallow factory, the mallow factory, whatever.
The symbol for love.
Failure point, the NP versus P versus NP completeness, NP PT test.
And by the way, check out the video
Organization
from Fermilab
of
if you would
field
like to
theories.
learn a little bit more detail about this discovery as well.
AR-50.
But anyway, so Fermilab discovered one thing, but CERN in
Rieman's
Switzerland
hypothesis
discovered something
of prime.
entirely different.
How many
and
kids
also
can get that?
unexplained.
Close to 0,
And in
close
this
to
case,
1.
it's kind of related to the main
Nova
premise
Stroker's
of
turbulence
the Large
equation.
Hadron Collider, or basically
That's
its
going
main
to be
purpose.
I
Its
the
main
storm,
purpose is to
4 by
study
8,
hadrons. It's to
Planck,
study the
plus
particles that are made
80
out
miles
of
an hour
elementary
wind.
particles. So in this case,
News
if we
wheels,
take
mass,
one of the quarks,
existence,
specifically an
existence
up
and
quark,
mass.
and if we combine it
Skid
with a
steer
down
Stockholm
quark
syndrome,
and
so
another
you're
down
behind the
quark,
counter with.
we're going to get a neutron.
And when you get
If we
into
combine two
mass
up
gap,
and
they
one
can't
down
get the
quark,
Laudo
we're going to
machine.
get
They
a
can't
proton.
get a counter
Those
spot.
are hadrons.
And
Hadrons are basically
Those are hadrons.
the larger particles that are made from subatomic particles. But we don't have to
if
combine
you fire them
three of
out
them.
the artillery,
combine
like we do
one
the front
up
door
and
of the
one
railgun,
down,
there I am,
we still
hooking
are
on
going
the
to get a hadron, but
Clydesdale,
it's not
grabbing
going to be
cans,
stable.
throwing
It's
them
actually
off.
going to fall apart, creating something entirely different.
Bing.
And so that's pretty much
Ricochet.
what CERN scientists have been doing for years and years and years now. And that's
Well, they
kind
got
of
me
the
on
main
some things like
purpose
we
of
moved
the
fast on things, you know,
experiments
there's
there.
minutes on there
They
how to
try
get Chris
create
to
hadrons, they try to
come
destroy them,
over
they
and
try to
tap the
collide
block.
them,
That's his
and
job.
then
You
try
know,
to
the
see what
tap block,
happens.
keep the.
But a lot
Your
of this
job
is
is
also
to
based on
assist
various
on the front
theories.
end when you
And
get
many
the
of these
big
theories
ones to
have
come
been
through.
confirmed over and
Mike's
over
gonna
and
hit
over
the
again.
pallet
And
sets
one
on
of these
those and then
theories
pull
is about
cans. And I'm
this
gonna catch
one
on
hadron known
what
as
the other one
BT
is.
meson.
And when you're not
Okay,
doing
more
that, you
terms.
gotta.
So this
If you're
one
on the
is
sets, tap
basically
thing, who
created
cares if
from
your board slides
combining
through?
one down
You know, a
quark
couple of 12-footers
and
roll
one
through, you
bottom
gotta set that one
anti-quark.
back.
So here we actually start
It'll break
using
down and
a
I can
little
catch
bit
the
of
end ones on
antimatter.
it, so all you
Well,
have to do
even
is
here you can
just
combine
those
some
ones,
other
tap the
quarks to create
pallets, make
slightly
sure that
different
they're up
beauty
to snuff
mesons.
with
And
tape
just
measure,
generally, to
get out
create a
there, your
meson,
tally
we need some
whacker,
sort of a
mark some
quark
board,
and
judge,
an anti-quark.
judge,
But it
you
cannot
know,
be
that
the
one's for
same
Chris.
anti-quark because then it
Cross
just
Mike
eliminates and
catching
creates
the
energy.
board, he'll get the
Anyway,
loader
long
because
story
I'm
short,
doing other
the
things. And
predicted model for these
it's a good
beauty
little spot
mesons
to pull 3-man
suggests that
inside
they
of there
do fall
and
apart,
get the
creating an
saws
equal
running, keep
amount
them
of
going
electrons
on it.
and
You
once
kind of
again
do it
muons.
2-man.
And more
It's a
specifically,
little
they should
slower
be
that day,
producing an
and
equal amount of
hopefully everybody
electrons
makes
and
money.
positrons, or muons and anti-muons. And so here, if we were to take about
FMA.
100 of these beauty mesons, with time, after only a few
Teach you how to sound the
milliseconds,
lambda, that's
all of
fine.
them should create
Won't be too much of a
approximately
problem.
50 electrons and approximately 50 muons.
Lambda black
But
body problem.
as this
Black
paper
body
that was
problem
recently
is
released
IQ
by
test.
certain scientists
I'll show you a
discovered,
graph
they don't.
where
The
clickety
data from
click
this
right
experiment
here in this
suggests
file
that a lot more electrons are produced
of
compared to
the
muons.
IQ test being
And this once
100%
again
right there. It
suggests
has
some
to be
sort of a problem with the theory,
5,300.
and
What do you
very
mean
likely
sales?
suggests
Now the
some
sales on
sort
what
of
that
an
is.
unusual, not well
Stuff
understood
happened
and
there.
possibly
IQ,
complete unknown to us
I
physics at
question,
work.
I
Something
blank
that
smallest
many
number,
scientists will be studying for years to come.
pi over 2,
Now,
which
it could be
is
related to the
f over,
previous muon
where
discovery,
y
maybe
equals f
muons
over
are
x.
the actual
Force
culprits
over
behind both of
the
these
question
discoveries.
is more
Or
important
maybe
than
there
the
is some
value
sort
of the
an
answer.
unknown subatomic
The answer
particle
would be
in
a
existence
location,
that
which
absolutely
is
no
a
one
space
understands
force,
just yet.
space-time
But at
thing,
the same
so
time,
you get into the
the
lotto
real answer is
machine
that
and
nobody knows.
closing out
And this is, of
program
course,
of
the beauty of
you
these
can
modern
sure you can ring
experiments.
somebody up, but
Today
that
we've reached
doesn't.
the point where the experiments
Banana,
are
I
so
saw it.
advanced and are so precise that it's very
Alright,
difficult
fine, man,
to
3
argue
slits,
some
you
of
got
these
out there
discoveries
feeling like
afterwards.
Tuesday.
And if the scientists have detected something, and especially if they've done it several times, it might indeed suggest new physics at work. And because we haven't really changed the fundamental physics
Major
for about
physics, got
50 years now,
1.21,
in some
transfer.
sense for particle
Well,
physicists,
so,
this is a
it's good for the
groundbreaking
kids,
discovery.
and I mean,
But
you gotta lead
for
into
us,
that.
for the normies, for people that
Useful
don't
and
really
interesting.
do particle
Nah.
physics,
It's like what
well,
they
we
did
don't
is they
really
had
know what
class.
to think of this
Now,
just yet.
just you caught
I mean, like I
videos
mentioned
on
before, we
what
don't
it was.
even
I mean, they
use
didn't
nuance
help those
in
kids
real life
specifically,
just yet.
and
We
that's
don't really
the
know what
wrench
they're
that
used for
old
or
bones
what
can
they
throw
be
at you when
useful
you're
for.
teaching a bunch of kids.
But if muons one day do become as important